Yo, what up, people? It's your boy, the Kryptonian, saying here, bringing you a review for One Piece chapter 339. And I'm really loving this whole thing with the CP9. Wasn't really expecting them to be an off-the-books government organization. And I like the fact that, the old woman that Luffy got the whole invitation to go see Iceburg is the one who breaks it down. And she says, like, look, they're an off-the-books organization. You might call them rumors, you might call them ghosts, doesn't matter. They do things off the books. And it really reminds me how in Metal Gear Solid you have Foxhound, and that's basically all Foxhound is they do stuff off the books, and if their people are caught, then the government disavows them. That's the whole thing with Solid Snake. Like, he takes on these super big missions, and if he gets caught, the government, they're not going to have anything to do with them. So I like how Oda's incorporating a little bit of espionage in this, man. And, Nico Robin, we did hear that, Robin kind of float around from organization to organization, and this might be why. Like, she just went to different organizations to bring them down because she was working for CP9. But the thing is whoever Robin's sitting there having that conversation and coffee with, or tea, whatever it is they're drinking, I'm really wondering when Robin's going to betray him, because if you look at the way Robin's drawn, she's got this peace about her, and yet the thing about Robin is she always kind of dances to the beat of her own drum. So I've got my eye on what she's doing. Again, I just look at how Robin's being handled, and I keep going back to Uchiha Itachi, because when you saw Itachi gather with the Akatsuki, it was the same vibe. There were just little things that were going on where you looked at it and it was like, wait a second, he's actually a good guy, whether it be the way he hesitated when Deidara was asking for information on the Kyuubi, aka Naruto, or how he was interacting with Kisame, where he says, oh, we can't attack Jiraiya. Just little small things, and the way his face was drawn when that happened. You look at all that, and then it leads into the betrayal. Again, you have some people that'll say that's much to do about nothing, and yet what people forget is One Piece and Naruto and just all these different mangas. These series, they start off as mangas, and so you don't have the anime to do little things like voice actors where they can add certain inflections, so the writers have to convey emotion through the panels. And that's what I was picking up off of Robin, because if you just compare her to all of the other panels and the way that she's been drawn before, it's little small stuff, whether it be the way her head's tilted slightly, the look in her eyes, just small stuff. Oda does a good job when it comes to capturing that. He's not the best, but he's skilled enough to where there is a difference. So what I will say is the way Luffy was being chased around by Iceberg's men, it really reminded me of what happened in the Baroque Works part, where Zoro's just jumping all over the place and he's fighting the Baroque Works members. In this case, Luffy isn't really fighting. It's just that Luffy is just like, I don't have time for this espionage shit, Nami. You say that, this is where he is, and the people are down there. I just won't go through the crowd. So Luffy literally just stretches his arms out and breaks through the glass and just takes off fucking running. And it's just like, if this was Metal Gear Solid, okay, if this was Metal Gear, you would see like the little guards with the little exclamation points, and then you have the little red alert thing, and everybody just be running around. Like, Luffy would make the worst espionage person, whereas somebody like Nico Robin would look at the area, or like Solid Snake, just look at the area, survey it, find the easiest way in, and then sneak from the bottom up and gather information along the way. Luffy's like, fuck it, I'll just go balls deep in it and hope I don't nut too soon. So that was cool just to see how that went. And Luffy was about to get caught at this point, because they're starting to corner him, and that's when Khalifa, on the orders of Iceberg, says, hey, you need to come up in here. That's when Luffy confronts Iceberg, and Iceberg tells him, no, I did see Nico Robin. She's part of your crew. I need to know. Where is she? I want to see her one more time. And Luffy tells him, dude, I don't know where she is. And that's where the gunshot goes off, and Luffy gets the hell out of there. But what's interesting about this is Luffy, a character so bright and animated, when you look at how he's drawn, he's actually drawn in the darkness looking over the scene. So I don't know if that's symbolic, because again, Nico Robin is in her descent into hell right now. Again, you have the hero's journey, and then you have the descent into hell. And I don't know if Oda drew Luffy where there are some shadows around him to showcase the fact that Luffy is about to dive into some type of darkness in order to recover his lost crewmate. So overall, this was a very good chapter. There's little small stuff that made it really good. You know, doesn't change the rating, if you will. It's a very solid chapter, but little small things like that definitely make One Piece a lot more fun to read. And I can't wait to see how they do this in the anime. I know a lot of you guys, you got into One Piece mainly through the anime, and then I've heard horror stories about how dreadful the pacing is. From what I've seen so far in One Piece when it comes to the anime, it's not that bad pace, though I could see how things kind of shift as it gets further along. That's the problem with having the anime running alongside of a currently running manga. When Dragon Ball did it, that's why you had like Dragon Ball Part 1, where the first series, it stayed pretty well paced according to what was going on in the manga. You had a few filler episodes like with Pilaf where it just fleshed out his character, because the manga just had him show up, he was the bad guy, whereas the anime you got to know them a little bit. And then when you got to Dragon Ball Z, once it got really close to where the Dragon Ball manga was, that's why the fights just started re-looping and shit, and you just started seeing like the fights look like fucking GIFs where it's the same movements over and over for like 4 or 5 fucking episodes. That's partially why the Goku versus Frieza fight was like 6 hours, because the anime was running too close to the manga and there was no room for filler for that. Or you go down the Bleach path where there's random unrelated filler in the middle of a fight and then you jump back to it. You didn't do that back then. So I can understand why if the pacing's kind of slower in One Piece, it's probably because it's too close to where the manga is. But like I said, overall, pretty good chapter. My chapter question to you all, if I haven't asked it, is what were your thoughts about Luffy's decision to just go all the way in? To not sneak in, just grab the bull by the horns and just go into the building in the midst of chaos. What were your thoughts on it? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, hit that like button because it really helps out the channel. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe and share. Thank you for watching Kryptonian Saying, guys. Have an awesome day.